Here on behalf of my able minister, Honorable Alan Kojo Martin. I'm sure on the program he is supposed to deliver this presentation, but another equally important assignment, national assignment, has taken him to another country. But all in all, we are here to also support mobilizing Ghana beyond aid. So I'm going to take you through the presentation that we have done. But yesterday, just to recap some of the things that were done yesterday, for Ghana to move from the lower middle income status, where we are right now, to a higher middle income status, it is estimated that we have to grow in a double digits, 4%, 30%, 14%, about 5 to 10 years to be able to sustain this, our development plan. And if we are able to go into the double digits, it is also estimated that we have to move from the services industry, which is now the leading contributor to our GDP, and move into the manufacturing sector, which will also open the economy and give us more broad base to create the employment, generate foreign exchange, and then begin to move Ghana at a rate that we are all aspiring for. So at this stage, my focus is going to be on the industrial sector. What are we doing to make sure that we diversify the economy, we make Ghana to become a manufacturing hub in the sub-region? Yesterday, I'm sure Kofi and all the other speakers did focus on where we are now. We are the second largest economy in West Africa. And when we are talking about the West African market, I want to put it in context. Right now, we are talking more than 350, 360 million population, made up of young, enterprising, youthful age. Once you have the youthful age, then you have also the consumption mouth. And once you have the consumption mouth, then it means this is where we need the manufacturing sector to take over the development of our countries. One thing you should also be mindful of is that in Ghana right now, we are the fastest growing economy in the whole world, and we aspire to do more. As part of our trade and investment process that we are going on, we are also focusing on making sure that we open our ports. You cannot do a manufacturing or industrial hub when you don't have well-functioning ports. Right now, we are 1.5 billion US dollars is being used to redevelop and bring the Tema port into a modern standard. And when we talk about Terminal 3, I'm sure most of you saw the message that was going on. 2 Nigerians landed in Ghana, and then they were just talking among themselves. And one looked at the other and said, "Is that Ghana?" And the other guy said, "Oh, we have to come and see what is happening in this country." In fact, Terminal 3 is such that it just opens your horizon to the fact that we really mean to do business. The time that you spend in Terminal 3 cannot be compared to the time that you spend in Terminal 3 at Heathrow Airport. Sometimes when you get to Terminal 3 at Heathrow Airport, as if virtually you are in a sports stadium. And the time that you will be kept in the line, virtually 1 hour. If you are able to do it in 1 hour, you are fortunate. But in Terminal 3 in Ghana, we want to make sure that you move, and you move very fast. When we are talking about Ghana, there are some few things we want to highlight. I'm sure yesterday the other speakers also highlighted on it. One, we want to make sure that we are still a world investment place in the whole sub-region. As at 2018, we were number 2. FDI flows to the sub-Saharan Africa. A global market research also put Ghana as number 1 in West Africa when it comes to best place in doing business. This statistics and other things goes on to show that we have not arrived yet. We still want to deepen the environment for business. So whilst we are doing well, we are not just going to fold our arms. We just still want to forge ahead so that when you come, you'll be able to do a wonderful business. In spite of all this, we are also looking at the business regulatory reforms. And I'm sure yesterday our Vice President touched on it. And Michael Mani also touched on it this morning. Registration of lands, registration of business. I'm sure most of you here are now familiar with TIN numbers. Everywhere you go in Ghana, TIN number, TIN number. We want to make sure that everything is now digitized so that wherever you are, in any part of the world, you'll be able to do business in Ghana. So the regulatory reforms that we are doing is to make sure that we bring all the ministries, departments, agencies under one platform. Yesterday, Kofi also touched on it. So that it's not just one-stop shop that we talk about it, but it is one-stop shop that is delivering for private sector to do their business. And then you also want to situate Ghana in such a way that you understand that if you're a manufacturer coming in, how is the market like? How are we able to relate to the other ECOWAS countries so that your goods and services can also cross to these countries? We are saying that we have a vibrant domestic market. In addition, the private sector is being supported by the government to make sure that they take their rightful place. In fact, at the Ministry of Trade, what we have done with the support of the Association of Ghana Industries, the Chamber of Commerce, SM Bank, and other people is that we call them industries that are viable, but they are distressed one way or the other. That's what the government is doing. We are trying to profile them and give them support so that they'll be able to meet the demands in the market. And then when we talk about the export markets, I'm always happy to talk about it because I have one of my ladies here who will be talking to you about the advantages of AGOA. When we talk about AGOA, it's the acronym for African Growth and Opportunity Act. This was something that George Bush, when he came to government, brought into the stream to support the export of African goods to the U.S. market. As at now, the U.S. market is open to at least 6,200 products, cutting different sectors of the economy, from handicraft, arts and craft, everything. And you can export duty-free, quota-free. These are some of the opportunities that Ghana has. We are part of the AGOA eligible countries. So you can take advantage of such a wonderful opportunity in Ghana. So if you are a company looking to establish in Ghana and to export to the U.S. market, there are some rules of origin that you have to consider because the majority of the value addition should be done in Ghana, then you can export to the U.S. market. And I'm talking about 6,200 products of array of products that you can export to the U.S. market. And then I'm sure you are aware of the ETLS, the ECOWAS, Economic Community of West Africa States, our trade liberalization scheme, that you can also export across our borders. Then, the Economic Partnership Agreement. I'm always mindful when I'm talking about the EPAS, because in the West African sub-region, just a little brief, you see, if you look at the West African sub-region, it's only Ghana, Nigeria, and Cote d'Ivoire that are not the least developed countries. All the other countries, Senegal, Togo, Benin, they are all LDCs. And because they are LDCs, the least development countries, they can export duty-free, quota-free to the EU market. But Ghana, Nigeria, and then Cote d'Ivoire, because we have moved into developing countries, we need to sign on the EPAS. Cote d'Ivoire was the first to sign, and Ghana joined. Ghana needed to join because, you know, most of our products, the cocoa, the pineapples, the cut flowers, and the cut fruits needed to go to EU, which is one of our big markets. And then we had to sign. I know there are some still challenges that the private sector is raising, and that's what we want to address so that the EPAS will be to our benefit, because it's more of reciprocity. You open your market, I open my market. First, we were enjoying what we used to call the Cotonou Accord, that we could export duty-free, quota-free to the EU market. Then the last but not the least, which has become the baby, which is the hot cake, is the continental free trade. And yesterday, we talked about it. We want to make the Ghana as the headquarters of the continental free trade. And this opens the door for all the African region. So from South Africa through Zimbabwe to Botswana, down to Angola, to the Far East, you can export your goods duty-free, quota-free. Now, let me narrow down on what we are talking about the industrial policy. When we talk about the industrial policy, it is just one of the key policies that the government is implementing. One, the reason why we need the industrial policy, as I said, is to make sure that we create decent jobs. Two, we also want to make sure that we diversify our export levels. We don't want to depend only on cocoa. We don't want to depend on the bauxite, diamond, gold. Now we want to make sure that we diversify the economy to make sure that textiles, garments, shea butter, and then we call another thing salt, the white gold. We want to make sure that we get all these things to be exported. Three, we also want to make sure that companies and other interested bodies can use Ghana as a hub, manufacturing hub. And then the last but not the least, just to make sure that once you export, you generate foreign exchange. And once you generate foreign exchange, it will also go a long way to shore up our economy. As part of the industrial sector policy that we are pursuing, I'm sure one of the critical things that we want to consider is creation of free zones. My CEO from the Ghana Free Zones Authority will be here, so I don't want to dwell much on it. But just a statement on the free zones. In Ghana right now, everywhere can be designated as a free zone enclave. And the only underlying thing about the free zone enclave is that you are supposed to export 70% of your goods or services. And then you distribute the 30% in the country. So that is the only thing. The rest must go outside the shores of Ghana. And then our flagship baby, one district, one factory, is to make sure that we decentralize our manufacturing sector throughout the whole country. You see, when we talk about the one district, one factory, my High Commissioner will tell you, it has been something that we have been working on over and over. And the whole thing is this: if you take all the districts in Ghana, every district in Ghana is blessed with a natural resource, be it a limestone, be it a bauxite, be it a fruit, agricultural product. So all that we are saying is this: why don't we add value to some of these critical natural resources so that we don't continue to export the raw materials, but we add value and we're able to get the best out of it? So when you hear the one district, one factory, it's nothing new, but it's something that the government is saying that let's focus on this. Once we do it, we'll be able to create employment, we'll be able to add value to our products, we'll be able to export not only raw materials, but also value-added products, so that we'll be part of the global value chain. In fact, nowadays, we don't talk about made in US, made in France, but it is made in the world. You take your Apple or Samsung and you dissect it. Every part of it is made somewhere. And that is where Ghana wants to go. We want to be part of the global value chain. And that is what the one district, one factory seeks to achieve. We are also looking at establishing industrial parks to also facilitate the manufacturing industry. And then my minister is so much, when it comes to this anchor strategic industries, I will talk about it. It is something that we aspire to move Ghana into the 12, 13, 14% GDP growth. And then I'll talk about it, providing stimulus packages to distressed but viable business companies. The free zones and activities, I've told you, the chief executive is here, so he will do justice to it. Now the packages for the 1D, 1F. We are also careful Yesterday, my chief executive of GIPC said it. He said, when it comes to incentives, we are careful. When you read our books, it is there. But the government is careful that when it is a priority and a sector that is going to also lead to other multiple effects, the government can sit down with you and look at the details. But for 1D, 1F, we are saying that we will give you tax holidays for 5 years, commencement of the day of your operations. And in addition, when you bring in your capital goods, you also have zero port duties. And then we are also saying that 100% exemption from payment of direct or indirect duties if you are registered as 1D, 1F company. And for companies in UK who are also going to enjoy the double taxation agreement that we have with UK, you must also be proud to be located in Ghana. What are some of the guarantees that are assured under the 1D, 1F? It also falls in line with the GIPC mandate. You can repatriate all your dividends, and then you are also guided against any nationalization or expropriation of your investments. And then it can be wholly foreign owned, or you can do a joint venture with a Ghanaian if you wish to. And then we are also talking about to make the 1D, 1F more attractive to investors. Yesterday, the chief executive of Exim Bank was talking about it. We have what we call participating financial institutions, PFIs. They will be able to help you to give you affordable, funds, not as the going rate in the market. In fact, the going rate we are aware sometimes is disincentive for the private sector. So all that the government is doing, let me underline this. Government is just a facilitator when it comes to 1D, 1F. Once you send your business plans and other things to the coordinating unit or the Ministry of Trade, they go through, it is solicited, it is posted to the next line. Once it is agreed, we link you up to a bank, and it is this bank that will be able to talk to you on the best way forward. So don't come to the ministry looking for any funds. We don't have any funds for 1D, 1F. The funds are sitting with the participating financial institutions. Please know this. I was talking about the industrial parks. These are some of the industrial parks that have been identified, and they are in various phases right now. I'm sure Apollonia City. How many of you are aware of Apollonia City? It's a flagship city, and I want you to be part of it. It is ongoing right now. We have the Dawa Industry Park. We have Tema EPZ. We have the Silicon Accra. We have Tamale Industrial Park. We have the Greater Kumasi. We have Sekondi. We have Sama. And then we also have the West Park Industrial Parks. Some of these are all opportunities for investors who are looking for a place to also come in. Now I'm going to narrow down into the anchor projects. First, we are saying that the petrochemicals that we are fortunate to have them in our economic stream, we are not just going to be exporting the raw oil. We want to come to the downstream and make sure that we add value to some of the things. And these are some of the things that the government has identified. So we are talking about other byproducts of petrochemicals. So this is where, if you are interested, you can also see us. We are looking at the iron and steel. You cannot build a manufacturing hub if your iron and steel sector is not working. And we are fortunate to have the deposits to support us. Integrated bauxite and aluminium, yesterday the Vice President also talked about it. This is going to give a boom to our industrial activities. Industrial chemicals, including industrial salt. As I said, if you look at the West Africa sub-region, it is, apart from Ghana, the only country that has some edible salt is Senegal. And with population more than 350 million, most of the countries are importing from Brazil and other places. We call it the white gold. And Ghana has one of the best deposits of salt. So this is an opportunity. And it can also be, if the chloroalkali industry, into paper production, into textiles and garments, so many things that can be done with the salt. And then pharmaceuticals. This is one area that we are really looking for investors. Yesterday, my chief executive, Kofi, talked about it. You see, if you look at our porous nature of borders, we have so many drugs coming in, but this is one thing that we want to also stop. Whilst we are beefing up the ports to make sure that these drugs are stopped, we want to make sure that we also produce to meet the demands of the market. So the pharmaceutical area is very lucrative. Ghana is one of the countries in the sub-region that liberalized its pharmaceutical sector in the 70s. And because of that, we have local-based pharmaceutical companies that are doing well. So come and tap into this. Right now, we are also talking about vehicle assembly. I'm sure you are all aware. The VWs and all those big ones are coming. But my company said something. Why they are the big ends, the knobs, the small things. That if you go to Nagoya, Japan, and you go to Toyota factory, you'll be amazed. You get to Toyota factory, you don't see anything. Just that they are just bringing all the parts and then they produce the car. All the parts, the small parts, are being made in people's garages, people's backyard. And that is what we want to take Ghana into, so that we will create a mass of SME manufacturers who will feed into the vehicle assembly plants. Then garments and textiles, as I said, one of my ladies is here. She's going to do justice about it, taking advantage of the AGOA market. Vegetable oils and fats, industrial starch, and then machinery and equipment manufacture. In conclusion, I'm sure if you have not decided to come to Ghana, after yesterday and today, you should be getting your plane ticket to go and taste Terminal 3. And then when you come back, you can testify. I always try to end my presentation with what we normally do with Nigerians. You know, when it comes to investment promotion, Nigerians also say that they are the destination. They are the destination of investment. And then Ghana, apart from being the centrality, we are also the gateway. So I always want to tell investors, if you want to enjoy Nigeria, don't worry, they are the destination. But before you go to the destination, there is a gateway. And the gateway is Ghana. So I urge all of you to take advantage of what we offer as a gateway country, a country located right in the middle of the world that serves the whole world. If you are not coming to Ghana at this time, in fact, you are losing. Sometimes you talk about the Chinese. Yes, they are found it and they are coming. The Turkish, they are found it and they are coming. And all other people are coming. And that's why we are beckoning on you. Our diaspora community, the British business people, the time to Ghana, the time to come to Ghana is right now. Thank you very much.